Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's weekly Wednesday webinar hosted by FunMobility. My name is Kevin Almeida. I'm a mobile marketing strategist at FunMobility, and I'm here with today's guest host, Jin Kim. He's our Director of Business Development, and he's worked hands-on on a lot of the real-life campaigns that we're going to be talking about today. Today's topic is interactive shopper marketing, in-store acquisition and engagement. We're going to be focusing all about marrying the worlds of offline shopper marketing and online digital engagement. What are the best practices for that? What are some clients we've done that with? What are the results we've seen? And then just kind of a larger strategic look at what the considerations are to get the most out of that. Who are we? FunMobility connects brands and audiences through fun and engaging digital marketing. We'll go through examples of what that means in this presentation. You can see an example of some of the recent clients we've worked with and some of the awards that we've received for working with those clients. And real quickly, I want to go into what today's agenda is going to be. This presentation will go for about 20 to 25 minutes. We'll hold questions for the end. So if you have any questions, we'll answer those all once we get to the end of the presentation. We'll open it up for Q&A. A recording of this presentation will be sent out to everybody who registered, so whether or not you're able to make it to the end of the presentation, we'll still be emailing you a recording of the whole thing. With that out of the way, I want to hand this over to Jen. Jen, why add digital to shopper marketing?
Yeah, so I think the key question that a lot of brand marketers have are, digital is good, digital is great. We know that digital definitely needs to be another checkbox in our marketing strategy, but what does that checkbox really mean? And I think what we want to do through this webinar, throughout the course of 30 minutes here, we want to identify, the main components to what make a successful digital campaign. In-store, online, how do we get a sense of tangible visibility into the campaigns that we're doing? How do we create a repeatable process that can scale? How do we add, again, a tangible audience behind the engagement units that we're putting together? And how does that all prove to ROI for these campaigns?
Right, so you can have the prettiest end cap in the world, the prettiest packaging in the world, all these other great shopper marketing considerations, but how do you actually attribute what is happening in store and how that is actually engaging the customer,
right,
who those people are, and what ROI that marketing material is actually creating.
Right.
And that's the great thing about digital. You can actually track it. Okay, so real quickly, today's agenda, with that out of the way, we're going to focus on 3 ingredients for creating this kind of in-store shopper marketing. We're going to go through some real-life examples, case studies, and then we're going to, in a more broad scope, talk about what is possible with in-store interactive shopper marketing. So when I say 3 ingredients, there's so many choices. It seems kind of overwhelming at first. There's so many vendors. There's so many options. It can be kind of intimidating to people who don't have a background in digital. So what we say is, like, look, no matter who you are, we tell our clients this, you've basically got 3 choices that you need to make for an in-store campaign, and that's it. You need to know who your audience is, who are you engaging, what do you actually want them to do, what's the experience that you want them to have, and then you have to give them an incentive. What's in it for them? It's not like a TV commercial where you have this captive audience or a YouTube pre-roll video. You actually have to give them a reason to engage, to activate when they're in store. And so when we're talking about audience, what's the size and scope? What's the demographic of the audience? What are their product interests, their creative interests? We have a huge wealth of targeting criteria we can use. What are the different points of discovery? Is it going to be on the packaging itself? Is it going to be an in-cap display? Is it going to be at point of sale? Is it going to be, in the retailer's monthly newsletter? And then what geographic areas are you hoping to target with this near and around the store? So let's talk a little bit about before people even come into the store when it comes to audience with media targeting.
Sure. Going back to the theme of making digital a tangible campaign and a tangible subject, we have over 700 billion impressions in a given month that we could target. As a brand, that's pretty overwhelming, and we have to filter out through these third-party data partners or a direct publisher relationship, an audience group that's going to best fit our brand. And utilizing these tools, knowing what we're going to utilize, knowing our audience size, that's going to be the key in first identifying and making digital a tangible process for advertising to that audience.
So let's get a little bit more specific here. So I'm a I sell barbecues at Home Depot or barbecue products at Home Depot. What does this mean for me?
Sure. So the first thing that you would need to do is identify whether this is going to be a campaign that focuses on Home Depot shoppers or perhaps maybe competitor shoppers to convert them into a Home Depot buyer. If we wanted to, the best strategy probably is to start at the shopper that already shops at the retail locations you want to go after. So if that's the case, we do some quick research through our third-party data partners to see how many shoppers there are at Home Depot currently in our database. After we filter out an audience list, we can identify over here 12.6 million major appliance shoppers at Home Depot currently. We could filter that list further to say, well, how many people are actually buying products that are related to my product? So if we're doing barbecue grill sets or charcoal, then we could say that, we want to target the 1.5 million shoppers that are buying specific barbecue-related products at Home Depot.
Now we're talking about digital ads here that we're targeting these people with. So this is before maybe you can come into the store. So how are we targeting 1.5 million people who buy barbecue-related products at Home Depot?
Sure. There's a wide range of ways to do that. We could do it at the household level where we're targeting physical home addresses. We could do it on a device level. We could do it, through publisher relationships. So we could do it through multiple channels. I think the main takeaway is identifying a tangible audience size. Who are we hitting before we're going to decide the why, the what, the means, and all of that stuff.
Cool. So part of it is the scary reality we live in is that there's so much data about everyone available nowadays that if you have the right data partners, you can get information like this. You can actually get not only when we say 1.5 million, that's not just us saying there are 1.5 million. We say these 1.5 million people, right. That is actually a list you can get from third-party data partners or from first-party campaigns that we run for clients. Right. Say these people are this demographic, and you and I'm sure on a number of lists somewhere for the things we like to buy at stores, and we're being targeted for media the same way. And so on the right here, we see PetSmart, the same story. We got 14.5 million audience that we can target at PetSmart. Of those, 12 million buy pet food, and of those, 3.6 million are cat owners who buy cat food. So if you are a cat food brand and you sell at PetSmart or you sell it at a PetSmart competitor, you can target that audience of 3.6 million, and you know that you are hitting people who are interested or potentially interested in buying your product.
Absolutely. And a lot of people frown on this and say, advertising, how can it be that targeted? Is that even right? But the whole point of this is to surprise and delight the consumer by giving them products that are most relevant to their wants and needs.
Right. I mean, if I'm a cat owner, I don't want to get ads for dog food.
Right.
I want to get ads that are going to save me money and cat would make the cat happier.
I could save money and have a good time and get the product that I want, then it's a win-win.
All right. So we know our audience. We're targeting outside of the store, and we have an idea of the demographic interests of the audience that that hopefully will come into the store. Once they're there, we focus on the next of our three ingredients, which is experience. What do we want the person to do in the store? And what is the digital experience? So there's going to be a call to action on some piece of printed collateral or through a representative at a tasting station or something, and that experience will then be something, hopefully, that's fun and engaging and trackable. Right. So playing a game, spinning something, you can do a fun photo with that. We can do social media quizzes where people can share what they are. Product recommendations are great. Recipes are great for food and beverage. And the point of doing all this, we do this all in HTML5. This is 100% HTML5, meaning you don't have to have an app. There's no downloading an app if you want to play a game. This is all done through the web browser, through their mobile browser, their phone that they brought into the store with them. So it's a very, very direct, low-friction experience. You connect some kind of call to action through a text or a URL to these cool experiences. And then this is a sample of some of the conversion rates that we see of people wanting to engage once they've activated. So you see a game here like we have the prize wheel here. We have this Burger King prize wheel we made. Those kinds of things, 80 and 90% will actually spin that wheel and get a prize, which is usually in the form of a coupon or a recipe or some kind of helpful tips or entertaining video. You have a lottery scratch card, which uses the touch screen like a scratch card, and you can get prizes that way. You can have surveys and quizzes, which are also a great way to get data capture about your audience and provide personalized product recommendations. So going back to our cat food example, I can actually personalize what kind of cat food is right for your cat.
Right.
And then, of course, photo booth, which is a fun way of promoting social share and getting some earned attention to your brand.
And these tools are, if you could go back for a second, these tools are great because, again, going back to that theme of making these experiences tangible, digital has always been somewhat of a question mark in that, I want to do a campaign, I don't know what. I want to drive engagement, I don't know how. And these questions can be answered now with products like this, with a catalog of experiences. I know what my conversion rates are. I know how the consumer will respond. This seems relevant to my brand, and I have just so much different tools that I could use, so many different choices that are at the touch of my fingertips now. And I think that's a great way of making digital, again, tangible for the brand and the end user.
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one question I hear on client calls, and I think it's the same for you, is what do I do?
Right.
Right. Like, what am I even supposed to do in digital? I know how to make great signs. I don't know what to do on digital.
Right.
And really, the answer is the only thing you can do on digital is to make something that's repeatable and scalable.
Right.
You know, there's too many products, too many brands, too many retailers, too many moving pieces out there to focus on these like big monolithic digital campaigns if you're talking about in store.
Right.
So that's why we do this. This is where we have a set of templates that we can use to brand and customize things that are very quick to turn around, reskin for different products and different offers on different days of the week.
Right.
And so that's really ultimately what winds up working for people, is giving them that kind of turnkey experience in store. All right, the last ingredient is the incentive. Why does somebody want to engage with this campaign? And that's in the form of a sweepstakes or a coupon, some kind of interactive or engaging piece of content, something that fulfills their need state, their immediate need state in the store, like giving them a recipe on what to make for dinner tonight, what pairs with their wine, what's a great cocktail to make, they're buying their barbecue charcoal at Home Depot, what's a great recipe to go with their charcoal at Home Depot. So, fulfilling the need state of your audience, or offering product recommendations, special offers. And we see different conversion rates based on the strength of that incentive. So obviously the friction of the experience, the monetary value, the perceived value, and then how relevant it is to the specific shopper that you targeted. Sweepstakes, you're going to see about 20 to 30% are going to convert. And when we say convert, we mean they're going to give you their email address, some piece of contact information in return for entering that sweepstakes. You give a digital prize, you're still going to see about 20%. So even something that is of no monetary value, like a video or a recipe, because it's instant. Product recommendation 7%, gamified offers about 1 in 3, and personalized offers very, very high. So if you personalize the product you're recommending or the coupon that you're giving them to their specific needs, you see about 4.5 times the average redemption rate of a mobile coupon, 45% conversion rates.
Right. And I think the reason that we have, again, if you go back a slide, the reason that we have conversions as a metric here is because at the end of the day, these incentives, yes, the consumer will be thrilled. Yes, the consumer will enjoy the experience more this way. But what we're trying to achieve is that the audience size that we established at the beginning, if it's PetSmart, 3.5 million cat shoppers, we're trying to convert that audience. It's in the realm of the digital. It's still invisible. We identified that audience, but it's still relatively invisible. It's to convert that audience into something tangible for the brand, converting it into an email address. I know that 5% of that traffic was interested in my campaign, and I actually have a tangible list of people that have expressed interest. This way, I go back and I test out a revenue model for that list to see if my digital campaigns are generating revenue for my product.
So let's just do end-to-end. Say I got a coupon. So I'm going to see an ad, and right now, like you said, this is invisible. This is, all in the realm of hypothetical. I'm hypothetically targeting people on devices, but then they're going into a store, and hypothetically, people in the store look at signs,
right,
and those signs are helping them want to buy. But if there's a call to action, a digital call to action on that signage, they're taking that action. Well, they're looking at your sign. That they're appreciating it, wanting to take that call to action. You can track all that. And then if they're getting a coupon, redeeming that coupon, or if they're, getting a recipe and saving that recipe and emailing it to themselves, you're now able to actually track what actions people are taking in the real world. How are they actually engaging with your marketing?
Right.
What is your marketing really doing? And that can be kind of a scary prospect to some people who happily live in the dark and not knowing what is and isn't working. But at the end of the day, if you want to drive success for your brand, you need to know what works.
Right. The faster you know, the better it is.
Right. And again, email lists, collecting an audience that you can keep retargeting. So when we say context is everything, what do we mean by context is everything? What we mean is that the mobile mindset of your shopper is different than in other contexts. So if you're at home on a desktop, you're in a more relaxed setting. If you're watching a TV, looking at a billboard on the street, etc. If you're in store on your phone, you have this incredibly narrow window to engage them. Things need to happen instantly. So when we're talking about things like a sweepstakes as an incentive, okay, I'll enter a sweepstakes and maybe down the road I'll get some kind of a prize a few months from now. That's going to convert at 3 times the higher rate if there's also some kind of instant win. So some kind of instant gratification. People want instant gratification. So sure, you got a sweepstakes, but if you give them a sweepstakes and a recipe, or a sweepstakes and a video, or a sweepstakes and a coupon, you see much, much higher conversion rates. So that's a really important factor to consider when they're in the store. Instant gratification in that context. All right. Now let's go through a couple of real-life examples. This is for Ace Hardware. This campaign was called Don't Be a Drip. And Don't Be a Drip is referring to the drought we've been suffering in California. Here in California for the last couple of years, this has been a really serious concern. If you're not in California, you may not really have to face this, but for shoppers and consumers in California, this is something that's always on their minds. And so retailers like Ace Hardware are actually able to help people with this. So rather than just delivering coupon circulars, the typical coupon circulars, here's some products, here's some offers, they delivered a themed promotion around this where they were delivering not just coupons, but interactive brand content in the digital circulars we were building for them that was helping shoppers conserve water. So it was ways to, in addition to just products that could help conserve water, it was household tips, videos, so things to make people just more responsible. But it was hitting that, again, that need state, that relevant need with this content. And so this interactive content that we could track was served to residents in Northern California in the geographic proximity to these retail locations. They also had a CRM database that they were able to hit with this, just like Papa Murphy's, and they were giving multimedia, video, ebooks. I think we're having a little technical issue with here. Okay, back to normal. And relevant product videos, things like this, in addition to coupons. And the fact that this was so relevant to the needs of the consumer and so interactive and offering so many rewards saw really great results. We saw 6 times the average cart size when this promotion ran compared to the average hardware vertical. So average cart size in hardware is about $20 cart size. With these promotions in place, it was over $100 cart size. And that sounds ridiculous that you would have full times on the cart size. I mean, just think, this is something that was of tremendous need and urgency to the shopper, and it was a value being offered immediately that was helping them with that. Lastly, I want to go through this case study. Minions Love Bananas. This was a campaign we ran last year that had this fun in-store component. I don't know if you bought any Chiquita bananas last year, but if you bought them when the Minions movie was coming out, you probably noticed that the Chiquita banana stickers were all Minions characters. There were these 32 different Minions characters. Chiquita was running this partnership with the movie to help promote, and they wanted to build an audience database. They wanted to build a mobile audience. They didn't have one. And so we created this big digital playground to start a mobile and online community. And in-store, people could scan these different stickers. There was image recognition. And that would fill up a sticker book, and that would give them access to sweepstakes entries, prizes, digital activities, rewards, and there would be an email capture feature. We had 1 in 5 people gave us their email from this channel, and we're able to really target the audience that Chiquita wanted to target, which was moms with child and household. And that, we found, was overwhelmingly who was engaging with this. It really worked. The combination of these fun, family-friendly experiences and then these incentives like sweepstakes. Sweepstakes are a great way to target moms, just as a demographic. And it really works. If you look at the results that it drove, sales went up by 7%, operating income went up, cost of sales went down by 11%, and the cost for engagement went down by 47%. And if that sounds like a ridiculous number, the reason it went down by 47% is because we doubled the size of Chiquita's CRM database in 3 months. So all the years Chiquita has been building their CRM database, just doing some simple in-store thing like this, coupled with an online advertising presence around this fun and engaging campaign with these 3 ingredients, they doubled the size of their CRM database. And we drove, these are actually from last summer. If you were to go up to present day, these numbers about double this now. We've driven almost 300,000 hours of consumer attention.
Right, and it's important to again, I think, emphasize the importance of adding digital. I know a lot of shopper marketing brands are sometimes focused on just the in-store component, and that's great, but even having a minimal digital strategy to add some sort of awareness definitely helps consumers know what to do with the promotion when they see it. With Chiquita, I know that some of the challenges were having the correct point of sale go up, having the correct shelf talkers go up, so that when consumers saw the Minions character, they knew what this was. They knew that they could win a promotion of some sort. They could almost win a free chance, a free trip to London if they scanned these. That's something that was missing because of, sometimes POS slipped through the cracks. There's multiple factors that can go wrong,
right.
Launch dates, things of that nature. So having a digital strategy go in parallel with this, where we're geo-targeting those retailers, geo-targeting consumers that shop at those retailers with the relevant context, explaining the background of what that Chiquita sticker means, definitely helps boost those numbers and drive those opt-ins to be what it is.
Right. No, I mean, you bring a really good point, which is, especially if you're a CPG brand carried in a retailer,
right.
You have very little control at some point about what's going up in the field. What is the actual print collateral in your store? We hear horror stories sometimes about signage that just doesn't go up, and they have no insight into if the sign is up or not, and no way to track it. And you spend all this money on designing and producing and distributing your signs and don't even know if they go up. And so the nice thing about having a digital by backing something up is that you're now hitting people in the pre-tail experience as well as the retail experience. All right, we're going to wrap this up real quick. Let's talk about what's possible. So we talked about these campaigns. We call this FunPop, Fun Point of Purchase. These are turnkey digital promotions for retail, and we just like to package this as a campaign for people. We want to make this as easy as possible to get people to get going. And what's included in that, we create digital assets for things like neckers, leave behind print collateral, signage. We create digital assets for channel sell sheets, so for your sales team going into a retailer, vanity URL and an SMS keyword, so that gives people a way of going from a print sign to the digital experience on their phone. We create a set of standard digital display creatives for that media buy that happens in the pre-tail experience. Then we create turnkey, the post-click experience. So what are they doing and what's the incentive page? And lastly, if there's a sweepstakes involved, we'll do bonding and fulfillment. So that's just kind of like we said, we want to make it repeatable and easy, and the way we do it is we package it with this product called FunPop.
We'll also do the CRM on the back end. That's optional. It's not initially scoped out, but we can also help with the CRM on the back end to prove ROI for the campaign, and a lot of our clients work with us to do that.
Right. We just talked about Chiquita. Chiquita's saying that we run Chiquita's monthly newsletter. Right. And what's one of the values of doing it this way? We can optimize spend around engagement. Your typical media campaign, you optimize spend around cost per impression or cost per click. We can actually, by bringing this all in-house under one roof, we can do it for the full engagement of the campaign. So we can go all the way down the funnel and optimize the media spend to what channels are driving the metrics that really matter in terms of proving ROI. And that's going to show higher audience engagement and higher conversions in the long run. This is we call this the periodic or the elemental table of mobile engagement. This is a list of all the different HTML5 nanosites. These are the content elements we use to build these campaigns that make it possible to do this quick, cost-effective, and agile go-to-market strategy for shopper marketing campaigns like this. Now, lastly, I want to focus on the user flow. So we're going to go through the entire funnel here from discovery, where they're going to see it as a vanity URL or an SMS keyword in the retail space. They're going to have that digital media campaign that's in the pre-tail piece of the experience where they're getting awareness about the campaign beforehand. Your channel partners and your sales team are going to have support materials to help sell into, or if there's, again, a tasting event or a demo event, you can have the representative have some kind of leave behind. And then that's going to lead into the in-store digital experience. So I'm in the store, looking at the product, I have my phone out, and I'm doing this engaging experience. There's going to hopefully be some kind of email capture, some audience acquisition feature there, so you can start building that CRM and getting long-term value and long-term insights into your audience. That's going to lead to your email remarketing and your CRM campaign. So you can not only send emails to that email list, but you can ingest that email list and serve them display ads moving forward, because you know now that that is your highest value audience, or those emails that you captured. And then you can also create a lookalike audience based on those emails that's going to use all the intangible data and things like Facebook and Google cookies to create a semi-fictionalized persona based on that email database and target ads to people like that. Those are shown to actually show better results than pure demographic targeting. That brings us to the end of the presentation. I'd like to open it up to questions now for a few minutes. And we ran a little bit long. I want to leave room for a couple of questions. So let me open my little questions box here. All right, question one. Isn't CRM expensive? Isn't a CRM experience expensive?
It can be. It definitely can be. And that's sometimes a challenge that we face. But I think when we package it up as a full funnel solution, from discovery, engagement, acquisition, all the way down to retention, then it becomes a solution that makes a lot more sense financially. Mm-hmm. And you'll know very quickly within the first 3 months, where we're not trying to put together a strategy that's going to blindfold you and lead you down the garden path for 6 months to a year. Within the first 3 months, you'll have a pretty good gauge of what digital can mean for you. Mm-hmm. And if it has potential to generate revenue, that's what it comes down to. Everything comes down to generating revenue. So if it has the ability to generate revenue for your brand, and we could proof out a model, then we have a story for continuing this investment.
Right, and then like we said, CRM it's one of those things where the sooner you invest in it, the sooner it can start generating.
Absolutely.
For you. Here we got another question here. What CRM products do you work with or recommend?
Sure. There's a wide range. I mean, it really depends. I think at a starter level, email CRM, MailChimp is great. They don't really have any fixed rates or commitment or anything like that. We actually have the ability to do CRM ourselves. If you wanted something where you want to manage in-house and have some segmentation going on and start doing your own marketing automation and things of that nature, Marketo is obviously a great tool. Exact Target is a tool we've synced with. And then when we're looking at SMS or mobile-specific tools, then we work with Waterfall. And Genesis is also a great tool. So there's a list of vendors out there.
Yeah, it really comes down to what the relationship. I mean, when it comes to CRM, it's all about the specific needs of the client.
Right.
If it's a complete turnkey relationship, then yeah, we have a set of tools that we're going to use, and we're going to use different tiers of tools based on the needs of the client. If they just need to send email blasts or just SMS blasts, we're going to use out of the box. We integrate with MailChimp, Waterfall, which is a tier 1 SMS provider. And then we can also, we can also have things where the client and the brand manages the CRM. And we can produce the URL, we can produce the content, and we share it. We can actually share it with not to get too technical, we create a token in the URL. So the person we supply the base URL with a token for the user ID, and when they send out an email or an SMS message, that actually serves as a dynamic link to everyone in their database. So we can actually track on an individual level everyone in the database, and we can attribute every individual person's exact behavior and activity, which is really valuable.
If you're just starting out on CRM, ask us and we'll help you.
Yeah. So there's a whole range. How much, sometimes we just produce the post-click content, but we can also do strategy and content that let us know what you need. It's a little different for everybody, unfortunately. All right. Where are you located? We're located in the San Francisco Bay Area. Our headquarters are in San Ramon, California, near Silicon Valley. You can get in touch with us by emailing sales@funmobility.com with any sales inquiries. Got any just kind of curiosity inquiries, you can hit me. I'm marketing@funmobility.com or call 855-75-MOBILE to reach our sales line. So hopefully that answers that question. You go to our website, we'll have all the information. Right. FunMobility.com. We have makes sense to me. Okay. Glad it makes sense to you. One more question here. What is your formula for proving ROI? We talked about ROI, and we talked about engagement.
Sure.
Some people won't draw that straight line from engagement to ROI. So how do we actually prove ROI? That's an important question.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it sounds really complicated, but we've actually boiled it down to be very mathematical here. Our ad ops guys are great. And we really tweak out numbers to see what we can do. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but The formula typically looks something like your budget over cost per acquisition gives you your list size that you'll generate for the amount that you're spending. Then you gauge that list size by looking at percentage redeemed over, or percentage redeemed multiplied by the average cart size, which gives you the a total amount that they're probably going to spend per blast. And then you look at frequency, how many times are you sending this out, over the span of a month, a quarter, a year, and that gives you your list value for the quarter, the month, or the year. And you can really gauge then, looking back at your list value versus your total budget, how much ROI am I going to get from this campaign?
Right. So it really comes down to you to proof ROI, you need to look at not just the short-term value of the campaign. A lot of marketers focus on how much money is this marketing going to give me tomorrow?
Yes.
Right? How many sales am I getting tomorrow from this? And yeah, you want to track that, but when you're in the modern world, you really want to know the value. You got to look at lifetime value.
Right.
You got to look at what has changed from the time you ran this campaign. What is the value of an opt-in to your email database? If you can send them emails, if you can send that email list display ads that are now targeted to their needs about your product, the value of that's going to proof out over a series of months.
Right.
And so what you want to do is basically get all of the metrics together of your cost, and then we were able to put together the conversion funnels, the rate of conversion, put simply, and then we have the monetary value that we assign, the revenue value that we assign to these different conversion events. So if something like a coupon, you can say, what's the cart size that this coupon is creating? And then you can, it's very easy to estimate revenue from that point.
Right. And don't get me wrong, branding is important. Having, compelling in-store print collateral, having digital media to reach a wide cast number of users, shoppers, and focusing on impressions, that works great. It's just a completely different approach. There's a disconnect when you're looking at ROI. You're going back to the retail channel, asking for post-purchase data, and making an assumption saying, because I did this and the result of this, that is my ROI. Mm-hmm. What we're trying to do is, again, make everything a little bit more tangible so that what we're doing in the digital space becomes something that can be relatable directly for the amount of spend and the return on investment.
Right. I mean, the alternative you hear people doing is A/B testing of like comparable regions, right? Mm-hmm. Like I am assuming that this region and this region are pretty similar in terms of market. I'm going to run a campaign here but not here, and I'll see if it made a difference. That's all well and good, but it is soft attribution. Right. And at the end of the day, if you can actually say, people did this, right, and then this much revenue came in, right, that's obviously a lot more valuable in terms of deciding on your budget.
Exactly.
All right, we're a little bit over, so I'm going to bring it to a close here. If you have any additional questions, you can reach Jen or myself. You can just, for sales inquiries, sales@FunMobility.com. I'm Kevin at FunMobility.com. If you want access to additional resources, we've got a load of ebooks, white papers, other webinars. If you go to funmobility.com/resources on a whole bunch of different topics related to mobile and digital marketing, advertising. We do these weekly webinars every week. Next week, we're going to be talking about gamified promotions. So we're going to be looking at some of the stuff we looked at today, spinners and the fun activities for Chiquita. And we're going to be focusing in really just on that. And what does that mean, and what are the best practices for those kinds of promotions? So make sure to show up for that. That's always a lot of fun. We do these weekly webinars every week. Once again, a recording of this presentation will be sent out to everybody who registered, whether or not you're able to attend. That'll be going out tomorrow morning. Thank you very much, Jen, for being here today. Thank you, everybody who showed up and attended. See you all next week. Bye-bye.